Oh,
And we're back.
doing it again.
Always, maybe.
All over
Every
again.
single week. This is our 19th episode.
19's a good number. What were you doing at 19?
I went to Europe.
Nice.
I was at Sal, Croatia around this time, actually. This is
Nice.
July.
It is July.
I was, just living it up.
I love that.
I actually started my PT course that year. That was my first year. Yeah.
Same. Same.
course.
Legit.
Fuck.
Literally.
Time flies.
What were you doing when you were 19?
What are you doing?
Maybe you still are. Who knows?
Well-
Either way,
Get ready for a good time because
straw
we're
bango.
feeling very straw bango right now.
Strawberry mango, for those wondering what the fuck straw bango means.
Because straw bango, but margarita doesn't really taste like a margarita though.
In saying that, we're running fucking low storage on the camera, so
We're literally going to get this done.
needs to be less than 12 minutes. So fucking straight up on.
Welcome to the new episode.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, shit. It's all happening.
Oh, shit.
New episode to the Split Shift Pod. I'm Daniel.
Jamie,
And we are going to talk about,
rapid fire.
we're talking about failure today. This episode, we are going to change how you think about failure. If you're scared about failure out there, if you're unsure and you just want to be a perfectionist, listen to this podcast. It's going to change your life.
Or at least your day.
At least today. Hopefully the way
It'll change something.
the way you see failure.
It'll change how you spend the next 12 minutes.
100%.
11 and a half.
Let's talk about real quick why failure is there. It's definitely aligns with expectations, right? So expectations on, you wanted to get achieve an X result or push it. Damn, you're going in. Achieve an X result. You want to, achieve this certain level, this certain standard, but you just don't get there. What can happen? I feel shit. Fuck. I'm a failure. I'm a failure, right? We get that a lot. And we're here to tell you that failure is not so bad. If we put it in the right way, in the right perspective, so you guys can take it on and treat it as an opportunity. How do we flip that? But tell me what you think about failure.
Failure is definitely inevitable. And I think that a lot of people don't start things due to fear of failure from things in the past. We bring this up pretty much every episode, but trying, failing, having a history of that, it starts fucking with your head and you start resenting the whole experience because of that failure, because you are starting to identify as that failure. Failure is going to be inevitable, even if it's, you've started a diet and you failed that diet, whatever the fuck that means. You started a training program, you failed that training program, you didn't follow through. Even a weekly or daily goal. If you're setting out to achieve something and you didn't do it to the expectation that you set for yourself, that's a failure. Then if you start identifying as that, you're less likely to actually do the thing that you need to do to get the result that you want. And then you just live your life feeling like fucking shit.
What you say, you're essentially saying that you're
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people do go through that. And that's one of the big things that I notice with definitely my clients is they just fucking believe that they are the thing. They are the experience, which makes no fucking... When you think about it and talk about it like this, it makes no sense to identify as an experience.
It's funny when on the flip side, when you when you're winning, people never call themselves, I'm a winner.
I'm a winner.
Yeah. They always will relate it back to the failure because the failure is pain, right? Because painful. It sucks when you don't achieve it. But the reality of failure, exactly right. Like it is making it your identity of saying that is who you are is a big problem. And once you get it in that mindset, it's really hard to get out of.
It is hard to break. It takes a lot of winning to actually break that.
100%.
Changing that belief system, but also fucking proving it to yourself with those wins. And it can take fucking ages.
Massively. So looking at failure, the way I like to be, incorporated with my clients is treating failure as an opportunity. We want to kind of look to take failure as an opportunity to want to take something away from it, take an opportunity to learn something from it. Something that we call is that a learning mindset is through failures. How often, yes, you can stack wins, yes, you can kill it in the wins, but when you fail, how much can you actually learn from it? And it's actually a pivotal point when it comes to journeys is something happened, what happened there? What caused that to break down? What caused that failure? So now you're taking this opportunity of this learning-based mindset rather than demonizing and saying, I am a failure, to say, okay, this happened to me because it's inevitable. We're a human. You're a human being. At least I think you are. How can we take this as an opportunity to learn from this and so we can be able to double down the next time, so we can minimize this. Like we said, it's not stopping this for next time, it's minimizing it as much as we can, so we can keep that momentum. One of the key quotes is I always say to my clients is that there's no such thing as failure. There is only lessons. The only time you do fail truly is when you completely stop. It's when it's done. Journey stopped. It's over. Giving up kind of thing. But there's never actually going to be true failure. There's only going to be lessons behind, those little ebb moments. Thoughts?
It's very, very true. Lessons is literally everything. Everything that you do, you're going to be learning, experiencing new fucking things, or experiencing old things in a new way. When it comes to, say, tackling failure or dealing with how you approach that, when you inevitably don't nail the thing that you've set out to do, because it is inevitable, everybody's going to do it. No matter where you are in your journey, could be 6 months in, could be 6 weeks in, could be 6 days in, could be 6 years in. You're still going to set out to do things and you're not going to reach it every fucking time. The first thing that you want to do if you're doing something that you've done in the past, I like to break up into 4 stages. First stage being what actually went wrong. Figure out what actually went wrong. So you're not just being one of those people that can just fail or, not complete something and move on and do the next thing straight away. That's great. But then you're not going to learn anything from it. So what actually went wrong and why did it go wrong? So if you're, let's say you went through that diet experience and you found yourself 6 weeks in and you're fucking back eating how you were before. What actually changed? Was it work got too crazy? Was it, fucking something with the kids? Was life got ahead of you or some shit? I don't know. What was the reason? Then why did that actually affect you? Step number 2 is learn. Take that as a lesson. Understand what you could have done differently. If you could go back there again and you had to achieve that same thing, what could you have done differently? And if you could do something differently, could you achieve the result? If you can't, then you need to pivot. You need to change your approach. You need to change the goal, because it's about being real with yourself as well. Some things you're just not going to be able to do with the lifestyle that you want to lead right now. If you're not willing to change certain things, then you may not be able to get certain results. Then from there, make sure you have a plan B and a plan C. That's step 3. So change what you were going to do. Even then, still have a plan B and a plan C. And then step 4, fucking implement those things. So make sure you know exactly what's going on. You've learned from your mistakes or learned from what's happened, and then you've pivoted if you've had to, and then made a plan B and a plan C as backups for those first things. And then you're implementing straight away. You're not waiting fucking 6 more weeks. You're going straight away implementing. And that way you're going to be fucking able to have a good relationship with failure, because it's not going anywhere. It's all about how you relate to it.
Absolutely right, man. It's such a good structured way of just navigating and just peeling back the layers behind it, so it's not like this big bad thing in our minds where we're just like, it's always going to be there, And this actually reminds me a lot of after you watch this podcast, definitely go watch the Victor vs. Victor mindset, because we fucking get blind anyway. But
was that the drinking one?
Yeah, that was the drinking one. On with that one, it's relatable in the way of a lot of stuff around the mindset. You can definitely see the parallels between failure and being in denial, and being you excuse yourself and you say, oh, it's because of this and that. So it falls into a lot on that victim's mindset, where when you become more real with yourself, you're kind of embracing that learning-based approach to how can I navigate with this or around this, whether pivoting or changing up your approach, stuff like that. Then you're starting to take that ownership route. You're starting to be real with yourself. That is the core component. That is the core foundations around, at least the flip side of failure is just being 100% real, be able to say, what can I do different, or how can I take this as a learning experience where I can just be able to, build it for the future. Like we said, we're not here to tell you that failure is going to be something that we're going to that you're going to stop doing, because at the end of the day, it is a very human thing, and it's one of the core ways you're only really going to be able to learn. And think of it as this opportunity where when you are failing, especially when you go with the approach of actually being able to navigate it, and you have a structured approach of like with Jamie, exactly how he said it, you're actually starting to welcome it as as something exciting. It's a bit weird though, right? Because we think of it as like this omen of just like, fuck, failure, I don't want to fail, I don't want to fail. But then now when you're starting to navigate and you know the tools and the blueprint to how to navigate around failure, then all of a sudden you're like, that's not so bad because I've done it before. I've failed, but I've also overcame it and I've gotten better. And now you're building your inventory, your knowledge of like how to work yourself around it. And you essentially become way more, like, I guess, resilience is not the word, but it's like something like more like anti-fragile. Just be like, you're embracing that side of failure, but it's actually just making you stronger. You're like, fucking oath, let's take this on. So action is really everything. When it comes to actions, and we always want to think of it as momentum, right? If we're looking to keep that momentum, we talk about it a lot. You mentioned it a lot. I think it was a couple podcasts ago, is momentum is everything, right? If you want to keep that momentum going, what failure is always going to be those speed humps that's going to slow down momentum to a degree. But if we look at it in a way where we can say, if we can take this in, uncover, learn, find your plan Bs, compromise, or maybe change your approach, and then implementation, that action is everything. Do not let it just stay wandering in the mind of I'll maybe, or like, I'll try that maybe later, or whatever it is. Just get onto it so you can keep that momentum going. I think the biggest one is looking with failure is how we talk about it, talk to ourselves as well. And self-talk is something that's that can really kind of break down a lot of those core foundations of who we are, our identity, how we perceive ourselves, our self-worth and stuff like that. Those feelings of just like, you are a failure, you're this, you're that, you're not built for this anymore. Managing that self-talk is a core component on where, especially when you know how the structure is, just being a little bit more kind to yourself to say that, hey, you are human. You're probably going to have to fucking talk yourself through this, be able to say this. We've been here before. I've done this. I'm going to do this again. It's not the end of the world. You're still going to wake up the next day and going to go fucking keep doing life. You know what I mean? So being mindful, especially like when our inner saboteur, our brain tells us it's going to want to say, protect us by saying, you failed, just don't do it anymore. Your job, ideally, make it a conscious thought, especially if that self-talk comes in, that negative self-talk, is being able to flip it into a positive to say, you know what, it's going to be okay. We can move forward from this. What do I need to do? And then you're taking it back into action. How are we looking for time? 11 minutes.
We're doing pretty well.
We're good.
The good thing about failure as well is that there's nothing that you're going to be able to do that will not be, like, if you're trying to achieve a result, you're doing something that's outside of your comfort zone in general. Like that's full stop. You're never going to fail at something that you do day to day. You're never going to fail at something that is already part of your daily lifestyle. So if you want to make a drastic change or even a small change, even some sort of lifestyle change to progress yourself in some way, you put yourself at risk of failure. So if you can look at failure as, this is an indicator that I'm actually fucking doing something. This is an indicator that I'm actually making some sort of progress and I'm doing shit that I'm not used to, So this is part of it. If you zoom out a little bit and be like, I'm going from here, where I'm at now, to fucking over here, it's never going to be a fucking straight line. You're going to see these little jagged edges. These are all little learning points. Too far this way, correct course. Too far this way, correct course. Learn, understand, use the fucking numbers, learn from your experiences, learn from what you're doing, and actually gain a relationship with failure itself. You are going outside your comfort zone to be able to do the things that you want to do. So understanding that failure is fucking inevitable. It is not your identity. It's just an experience that everybody has. Learn how to learn from it. Learn how to make plan Bs and plan Cs, and learn how to implement those things immediately so you do not sit in that fucking feeling sorry for yourself state, which gets you absolutely nowhere.
Exactly. It always falls down to the last thing, which is just falls back to action. Falls back to action.
Yeah.
If you can keep actioning to move forward, you will get there. You will succeed. You will overcome that failure.
100%. And you get better at having calculated action also.
Exactly.
Like if you get, the more you fail, the more you learn from failure instead of just copying it, being like, oh, I'm a fucking failure. Mm-hmm. It's like, of course you're a failure. We're all failures. And that's the thing.
That's
right? Part of it.
And that's so true. It also kind of changes your ego to a degree as well. Like a lot. Like it drops the ego. you know, because you have taken it as a friend almost, be able to say, well, I'm not this fucking person that can just get it all done, blah, 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 it's all going to be perfect, anything like that. No, like, that gets dropped. You break those walls down. You become more human. You become more real with yourself, and you just take it on.
That's it.
That's it. We hope
It's got to be it.
that has to be it, dude. We
The red light is still on, so that's a good fucking sign.
literally. We hope that you take this on well. Take on failure as a friend. It is there to help you.
It just means you're doing something.
And it means you're doing something. It means you're going out of your bubble, your comfort bubble. If you're feeling those fears, if you're feeling those uncertainties, or experiencing those failures, it means you're on the right track to moving to the version that you want to be. Because you're breaking that bubble. You're moving forward. Take it on.
Literally. You are a failure. So is Danny, and so am I.
Yeah.
So we're all fucking just doing life. Get used to it. Learn and fucking move forward.
Oh yeah.
This is a Split Shift Pod.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for coming.